guys, and welcome to Mayuary. Mayuary means when you're halfway through May and you get weather like you would have had in January. To a place called Gawton Gravity Hub in Tavistock. Here's the list of trails. Not all of them are open due to forestry, but that's cool because I have a limited amount of time I can actually ride for because of my ankle, leg, whatever is going on in there. Which I'll be able to update you with soon, so it doesn't really matter. And I've got a tyre that's kind of like leaking from the valve and also from the sidewall, so I do a run, maybe a couple of runs, and then have to come back and pump the tyre up anyway. So yeah, not been here since 2023 when I had a coaching session with Jay Williamson, which was incredibly helpful but before the start of that race season, so I can't really remember the tracks if I'm honest, so your guess is as good as mine and we will just follow the instructions around. I know there are some like proper steep jumpy trails which we won't be doing, but the rest of them should be fine. And as I say, I've got like a limited sort of amount that I can do anyway, so it's not terrible. Okay, they're all October dates, so I don't have to worry about them. And this is the main platform. Decided to go full face because I'm here on my own, but I'm also going to put gloves on because it's that cold. It's like as cold as it flipping was in January, February time it feels, which is mad because the date at the moment is the 14th of May, so we're like rapidly heading towards June. I'm going to head from right to left because it looks like the black ones are over there. So we don't want to start on that, we'll start on this. I don't know what this one is because there wasn't a sign, so unsure. Jump. Yeah, no idea what this trail is. I don't know if we're allowed to ride this or not. I didn't say it was shut though. I'm guessing you can, they're just doing maintenance work. And there are tyre tracks here. I think I kind of remember doing this one before. Yes, wet foot. Definitely feels like winter now. Yeah, I remember coming down this a few years ago. This wasn't with the session with Jay, this was on my own, and being like really scared because everything felt like really steep, whereas this is just my chilling pace now of like looking. This is my looking pace. Like again, too much of a commitment when I didn't really know what I was doing. So. But it's pretty good to be fair. Although you can never compete with a downhill bike on an enduro really. They're just as like, oh, we're still on the trail. For some reason I thought that was it. Wow, it goes on a long way. So it costs a tenner here, or you can get a membership. So I've just done a day pass. The membership, to be fair, is like not that much, so if you're going to come here more than 5 times a year, it's worth having a membership because the membership's only £50. Although the climb's really easy on the e-bike, just keeping it nice and steady in ENTB Plus, which is a mode I mostly use, it is a battery eater because I've done, this is going to be my 3rd run, so I filmed one for YouTube, filmed one for social media. Now I'm going to do another track, which is run number 3, and I've already used a bar, so there is going to be, I wish I brought my range extender but I didn't, but that's probably a good thing because I shouldn't push too much in this ride, but it'll be interesting to see how many runs I actually get out of it. But that means I've got to try and keep count. This next run, which I think will give the same very bottom section as the other one, we're coming off the same ramp, but we're going to do it the one that's signed proper job, because the first one we didn't actually have a sign on it, so I don't know what that was called, but I suppose Strava will tell me. But proper job is next, and I think I have done this one before. Oh, 2 options. Is that the same trail? Oh, that's very confusing. Would you go off there? I don't know. There's a few lines here as well, so let's have a look. Genuinely not sure. Oh no, that must just be a different line in because it joins in the same bit. Okay, well, we can do that one again. I didn't expect to sort of be able to come in and know exactly where all the stuff was anyway, so I'm massively worried. That's the line. That'll be a race line, I'm guessing. Okay. So this one is a double red. So I don't know what the other one was, but this one's significantly steeper than the last one. So I think I've spoken about it before on my media. That's the line over there. But basically, oh, that's also fine. You've got different lots of grading, right? So you've got trail centres, bike park, and then downhill, and then off-piste. Obviously, unless someone does something on Strava, off-piste stuff is never actually graded. The high line was the one. Never actually graded, and you've got to be a bit careful, obviously. Bike park has its grading, and then downhill has its own grading. So usually downhill will be a lot more fruity. So you have to be careful. Anyway, we'll drop into this next bit. It's always a bit worrying when you've got netting to the side of you, because that means there's probably a great big drop, which you might see in a minute. But I guess when you think about it, you're coming down here at Mach 10 on a downhill race, you probably want something to catch you. Nice. And I think that's it. Run number 5, because we've done everything twice. Well, I say everything I've done so far has been twice. So we are now gonna go to Egypt, which I think goes right through those 2 trees there, but we'll see. I think we're probably pretty much going to end up on the same end section every time, judging by the way these go down, but I could be wrong. Yes, okay. Where's the track? Ah, I remember doing this. Jay. Oh, fuck. But what was the line? There are many lines here. Remember some of it. This track is way more techy. I think I've come off the track. I'm gonna say I am off the track. Is that the... Where am I and what am I doing? What have happened there is I came down a bit that might have been used for a race. So would have come down that bit and then maybe dropped into there taped, but actually the trail finishes there and then goes into that bit, which is the bit we done before. So I'm going to go down there again. You've already seen it, so I'm going to see if I can get some clips. If you have not seen it before, this is a totally different section of trail. So this is the place that I should have gone to had I not gone to the wrong side, and I still stand by the bit that I came down was probably not where you were supposed to go. Yeah, I remember, right. So, rock garden, that way. How? Also, just to let you know, these routes I'm currently on and all those little rocks I've just done are slippery as anything. There's like, literally, they're like ice. If you try to walk down there, you'd be on your arse. So, bypass line. Now I can't see a rock garden over there, so this is throwing me out massively. Let's go down here and see if we can see. No, still can't see. Oh, is that? No. That is what I presume to be the rock garden. I'm trying to come to this from memory, and if you follow me, you know that the memory part's not necessarily strong. This is where I've come down. So super wide and down over the loamy, slippery route, and then that's the rock feature line, and I presume you'd come down there and then kind of around to where I am here and down through there, I think. So that's the bottom part of that section of track, which is a lot steeper and gnarlier than what it probably looks like on camera, and super slippy. So I'm glad I actually looked at this trail before I just went flying down, because there was actually a lot more to it than I remember. I think what I probably did before was never actually ride much of it. I just kind of went to a section and played on it. And there was that one section that I showed you before with the smaller rock roll that now looks really, really tiny. But that sort of big, difficult techie line, I wouldn't want to come here and do that on my own, because you go over the bars there, not only is it going to hurt a lot, but it is a long ride back up to the top, which you're not going to be doing if you've broken something or really hurt yourself, and then you've got to get out of here. So yeah, that'll be one for a trip when I got some other people. So hit me up if you'd like to ride here. So we're going to follow down the rest of the track. That bit that way is not the track, that just joins into sort of another bit. I guess maybe if you were doing a race run, they might have taped it through there. We're going to drop into this, which I'm going to say is another load of very slippery tech. So we'll just take it nice and steady, because if it's anything like the rest of the trail, you'll go along thinking, oh, this is all fine, and then you come to something that is not really so fine. So I remembered this bit. I tried to do this on my own and really struggled with the corners. So we'll get that out of the way, because I just wasn't sure if that was part of the thing. We'll roll into this. So slippy. You hear that? I hope you did hear that and the camera picked up. The little camera have lost its muff, and so it isn't. I'm just gonna have a look at these corners. I've lost its muff, so I don't know how good the audio is gonna be. But hopefully it picked up that slide, because I shouldn't have really slid around there, but it's so greasy and loose. Right, had a little looky. I think there might be somewhere to perhaps, well, it depends how much more rain it does. I was going to say to do a clip, but it's so wet, I don't know if it's really going to work very well, because it's the kind of thing when you get when you get wet on your camera or on your phone screen or whatever, it you know, when it just like pours a bit. So I don't know, to be honest, whether it's going to work. But I think somewhere down here I saw a good spot. I don't want to go too fast so I can see where to put it. Actually, it doesn't look quite so good when I'm on the bike. That is annoying. Never mind. We will continue to ride. So I reckon the High Line's probably the better one over there, but then you do have to go across all these routes, but then you got to go through there anyway. So yeah, I'm going to say the High Line. That was a bazillion% would have been better than where I just went, which made it ridiculously difficult. Never mind. Got to remember, I don't think I've ever ridden this track. I've only ridden parts. So I didn't expect to be able to remember or to ride everything, to be fair. And I think I might have ended up on part of what is a bit of a black there, and not only that, it is so wet and slippery, so I can't really be like getting annoyed with myself, because to be honest, not that long ago this kind of thing would have been impossible, oh my god, to ride, because I just wouldn't have had the skills to do it. I cannot tell you how slippery this is, and it probably doesn't help the fact that I've got loads of tyre pressure in the back, but I just got my jacket caught on my seat then and nearly went over the bars. I was so close to going over the bars there. This happens to me quite often. Woo. But I've got a belt for my trousers now, so at least my trousers don't nearly try and kill me. Right, where am I? Okay, I think this is the next section. I went down a bit, well, I didn't go down, I had a look at a bit over there, which looked like a really old track. Really old, so it's not going to be that way. I'm just going really cautiously, because one minute you have grip and the next minute there is no grip at all, so I don't want to do anything dumb. Oh my goodness, I do not want to be on this in the wet. There was a trail down there, Jesus. Woo. Just went down that track again, Egypt I think it's called, but I filmed it in media mode because I didn't know how many more runs I'd be psychologically willing to attempt, so I thought better to go down there to see if I could get some clips. Definitely rode it better, oh excuse me, than the first time, but there's some really hard bits there, and it's difficult to get it right, and also there was a bit and I thought I could session that, but it's so steep and slippery to get back up. It's like the e-bike isn't going to help because you're still going to be pushing the e-bike because of the steepness of it, and I just, yeah, that's going to be too much to push up and do a session. I think it's gonna, and I reckon some of the stuff that I did, but here just on that track in the dry, like over the roots and some of those rocks, you'd have loads of grip and you could get a real fair pace here, whereas like at the moment you get a bit of speed and then I'm like, oh, tiny little slip, and then it's really sketchy because it's steep. If you put your foot down or you lean or wobble too much, you're gonna go straight over the bars, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm happy with that second attempt, but I think I'm going to leave it there. I thought about doing some clips on the corners, but I wasn't actually doing it that well anyway because it's so steep. How we're doing battery wise, tyre staying up, probably could let a bit of air out, but don't really want to risk it, but it's like manageable. So what I'm going to do now is going to check out another trail. Now I can see already over here, you might not be able to see on that to be fair, but there is a wooden drop, so we're not just going to hit that drop because I've seen this on social media and it's big, so we're going to go and have a look at it and probably go around it. I've actually just realised I've missed one, so, well, I haven't missed it, but it's where we went to Egypt before. down there. Now we're going to take this sort of bit more left one, go around those berms, see where that goes. Then I'll head to that other trail, because it might be that I only do each of these trails once, because if there's nothing I can actually do feature wise on there, then there's no point like going back for clips. Otherwise we'll be doing these ones, then do it in media mode, and then finish with some clips. So the sun is kind of coming out just a little bit, and that though literally a minute ago was just like torrential rain, so I wouldn't trust it. So already there's been doubles and bits and pieces, so I'm going to say this one has got a bit more tech on it. Tech? No, jumps. Everything's pretty much tech, so if you've got a jump, it's a technical jump. I know where this trail is going to go. Yes, so this feature here, where I went wrong, oh, you wouldn't have seen that because I filmed that on media mode, but anyway, I went wrong and it ended up down there on that bit of trail, which is not actually where I wanted to be. Terrible features, but they're all wooden and wet, and I don't really think that's for today. I don't want to crash here on my own. So what we'll do is I think I've got a plan, but I mean it doesn't mean it'll work out because I don't really know where I am most of the time. But if I head down this fire road, I should come out to some of the other bits of tracks I was going to do clips on. So I'll go there, do some clips, and then pedal back up to the top, look at the next one. Times, folks. So I was just about to go up to do a nice couple of really good fast HSD runs, only to have my chain snap. So it has snapped where the link had to be undone when my derailleur broke when I was in Scotland. So note to self, probably replace chains after that. I think the derailleur is okay. I literally just think the chain snapped. The trouble is I've got a very long walk back now, which is not going to be fun. Definitely the ride was prematurely ended thanks to my chain snapping, but do you know what? I was going to go down and do like hell of a couple of really fast runs and get some footage of that, but that might have been the bit that actually made my ankle hurt. So long story short, there'll be more detail in a little bit when I know more, but at the moment I've had an MRI on it, and basically I've got severe bone bruising in my lower leg, a 10mm cyst in my ankle, and cartilage is being ripped off my bone. So that's from the injury that I had last year that was misdiagnosed and obviously hasn't fixed. So I have got like a time limit of what I can do in terms of riding, and if I'd have gone back and do those other 2 runs, you never know, I might have made it sore for tomorrow. I don't really know, can't really answer that, but the universe intervened, snapped my chain, so I went home. But luckily Pete is selling loads of bike stuff on eBay, which means I can replace the chain, the derailleur that I also bent in Scotland, and the shifter that was going funny today. So all in all, it's not a terrible ending to this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a like, comment, subscribe to my channel for more cool stuff, and if you'd like to ride somewhere at Gawton, or would want to recommend a place like Gawton and ride with me, then let me know in the comments. See you at the next one.